Isaac Newton, the scientist with a hidden alchemical heart. Isaac Newton, known for discovering gravity, reshaping physics, and revolutionizing mathematics, had a hidden side. Although he is often remembered as a founding figure of the Age of Reason, economist John Maynard Keynes had a different view. To Keynes, Newton was the last of the magicians, a man with one foot firmly in the mystical world of ancient Babylonians and Sumerians. Newton's fascination with alchemy, a discipline blending science, philosophy, and mysticism, spanned more than 3 decades and remains one of the most mysterious aspects of his life. Newton was born on Christmas Day in 1642, a wonder child without a father, a man who would go on to change the way we see the universe. Yet, while he was changing the intellectual world with groundbreaking discoveries in physics, he was also spending countless hours in a different kind of study. Newton left behind nearly 10 million words of writing, and astonishingly, around 1 million of them focus on alchemy. 4 years, he pored over alchemical texts, filled with strange symbols, allegorical tales, and hidden codes. Some of these writings seem almost magical: recipes, arcane symbols, cryptic processes to transmute one substance into another. For Newton, alchemy wasn't just about the possibility of turning lead into gold. He was chasing something deeper, the secrets of nature itself. Alchemy, or chemistry as it was often called in 17th century England, intrigued him because it held the promise of revealing hidden truths about matter and the universe. Alchemists believed that by understanding the building blocks of the material world, they could unlock divine or mystical insights. But Newton's alchemical work was kept largely secret from his colleagues. Alchemy carried a reputation for being unscientific, even heretical. The Church viewed it with suspicion, as it often bordered on the occult. Perhaps that's why Newton was careful to hide his alchemical manuscripts, most of which remained unknown to the public during his lifetime. The fate of Newton's papers. In 1888, Cambridge University catalogued Newton's massive collection of papers, only to decide they had little interest in most of his alchemical work. The university kept a small portion of his scientific papers and returned the rest to the Earl of Portsmouth, a descendant of Newton's family. Nearly 50 years later, in 1936, the Earl of Portsmouth's descendants auctioned off the remaining manuscripts at Sotheby's. The alchemical manuscripts were scattered, with more than 30 buyers taking home pieces of Newton's hidden legacy. One of these buyers was John Maynard Keynes. Keynes was captivated by Newton's alchemical side and spent years reassembling a portion of the collection. By 1946, Keynes donated his collection to Cambridge, and today, these manuscripts have become a part of Indiana University's The Chemistry of Isaac Newton project, which makes them available to the public online. A strange remedy for the plague. In 2020, 2 previously unknown pages of Newton's notes went up for auction. These notes revealed his interest in the work of Jan Baptist van Helmont, an influential alchemist and physician known for his unconventional ideas. Van Helmont had written a treatise on the plague, De Peste, which offered various odd remedies. One of Newton's notes describes a particularly unusual method for fighting the plague: suspending a toad by its legs in a chimney for 3 days. According to the instructions, the toad would eventually vomit up a mix of earth and insects, which could be dried, powdered, and combined with other ingredients to make a protective lozenge. Newton believed that wearing this amulet might draw out the poison of the plague. To modern eyes, such a remedy might seem strange or even ridiculous. But in Newton's time, alchemy was viewed as a legitimate path to understanding nature's mysteries, and alchemists regularly shared curious recipes and mystical cures. A legacy beyond science. Newton's alchemical studies are often seen as contradictory to his scientific achievements, but they offer a fuller picture of his character. Newton wasn't just a scientist, He was a man of his time, deeply influenced by the magical and mystical beliefs of the age. His alchemical pursuits reveal a mind that wasn't content with mere observation and calculation. Newton wanted to penetrate the very fabric of existence. Ultimately, Newton's legacy is one of complex duality. He was the pioneering physicist who transformed science, but he was also a seeker of hidden wisdom, a magician who believed that some truths lay beyond rationality. In the end, Isaac Newton remains both the father of modern science and, perhaps, the last of the ancient magicians